It's movie time, and we're back again with movie time. Hey, everybody! Hope that you're going well. It's like, sorry, we're doing this from a remote location for you guys today, and we are having a snacking movie time. I am eating his Three Musketeers, and of course, I'm your host, Grayson, and with me, of course, is my host, Olaf. Hey, Olaf, how you doing?
I am doing fantastic. It's been a long day, but every day's a long day. But
Mm-hmm.
another wonderful day in the great state of Indiana.
Excellent. And with me also is my co-host, Arpo. Hey, Arpo, how you doing?
Hey, wait, what? You don't know how I'm doing? You've been on my ass since you kicked me out of bed at 7 o'clock this morning.
That's right. Congratulations, folks. Welcome to what filmmaking is all about.
Yeah, I'm telling Harvey Weinstein on you.
Yeah, I don't sexually harass you.
No, this is true. This is true. No, we have had a very busy day between in-person and phone meetings. We've had, I think,
Seven.
7 meetings today.
Yes.
Whew.
Yeah. And boy, are we tired.
But
We're here for
we're
you,
here.
folks.
That's right, just for you folks. So you, by God, better be listening.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, for all of you folks out there, tonight we are, for the very first time, being broadcasted by Production Next,
Woohoo!
our brand new software. So
Woo!
if you want a really great piece of software, definitely sign up for Production Next. Tell them that it was Movie Time with Grace and Sonata that sent you as the referral, and therefore it's like you'll be able to have a great piece of software. And I would say 100% your productions will change because of this.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. In case you're wondering why I keep looking over there, folks, it's because, yes, it's true. We are in actually the same place. For the first episode of Movie Time, we are in the same place.
Yes, and next week we'll be hopefully joined by Olaf here.
Hola! Hola!
Olaf,
that'll
Olaf,
be
Olaf.
that'll be scary. All three of us in the same place
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
at the
but
same.
Olaf has to broadcast from the spooky basement.
Mm-hmm.
Works for me.
Yep, that works.
I guess that I guarantee you, I'm scarier than anything that's in that basement.
I don't know. So, folks, tonight we're going to talk about obviously the hot topic that's on everybody's mind. Starting off tonight, Me Too. And I'll say it. Yeah, Me Too.
You too?
Me,
Yep,
you too.
yep. 650,000 of us.
Wow.
And unfortunately, it was Me Too. More than one situation of harassment, as well as also not work environment only. So, yeah, Me Too.
I said I was sorry.
It had nothing to do with you. It was
Oh,
long
okay.
before you.
Okay. I feel better now.
Yes. It is dark side of the industry, and thankfully it's being thrown out there. And yes, Me Too. And this is not a joke. It's honestly something that did happen many years ago. No, thank God it was not Harvey Weinstein.
Mm.
But yes.
Yeah, that's the Me Too. It's like it as it has started to pick up pick up speed and people more and more are posting the Me Too. There's getting to be more and more people. You're finding out that you're not the only one that's happened to.
Yeah.
You're
It is
not
sad.
alone out there.
No? It's like sexual harassment in a workplace? No? In other situations? No? It's not unusual, unfortunately. It's like even attempted assaults. Nope, you're not alone. Can you guys also say me too? Either one of you?
No.
Me, I'm trying to think. No, I don't think I can. I don't think I can get say. I don't think I can do the Me Too.
Yeah.
I guess I've been fortunate. I've been fortunate that it's not happened to me.
It's partially why I enjoy being self-employed.
That's right. The only person who can sexually harass you is you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now if you're going to go that twist, that no, that's well. See, I've always it's like pretty much I've always been the boss. So, and had my own companies. So,
Yeah.
no, so I've been lucky that I didn't have to worry about that.
Yep. They know.
And in my case, I've always been this ugly, so I really had nothing to worry about.
Well, with me, they know who they are, and they know exactly what happened.
Okay,
Let's leave
Corey.
it at that. No, I don't have to worry about naming names. They already know who they are. So, yes, I would hope that this campaign keeps going. Because there is more than Harvey Weinstein out there. There's more than a few others. And yeah, we'll start naming names.
And look at how little it took to knock Harvey Weinstein down from his ivory tower.
Yeah.
Yes, not much. And of course, you see the different uh, coverage of like yes, I have a problem, and I'm going to get help. And you see him get in a car and take off.
Yeah, I think he's going to go by way of Polanski,
Yeah,
personally.
well, it's it's a little late. I guess once you get caught, is like
Yeah.
yes, I do have a problem. Oh yes, I have a problem, so I need treatment. I
Yeah.
guess he's kind of thinking that would lessen the blow to him, but I don't see that that's going to help.
No. The fact that it's like he is doing that is not a mea culpa, as far as I'm concerned.
No, I kind of think him doing that is to get away from reporters and stuff because if he goes into treatment, they're really not going to be able to, hound him too much or, try to get interviews and stuff with him if he's, actually does check in somewhere for treatment.
No.
No.
And no matter what kind of treatment, how do you take back raping someone? How do you take back harassing them? All the lewd acts he did and allegedly did?
Well, he certainly has not been popular at Cannes,
No.
where he is referred to as the pig.
Mm-hmm. And basically, no, I don't feel sorry that his wife is leaving him. My answer is, why did she tolerate it other than the dollars?
And speaking of dollars, just to show that even the bleakest of clouds can have a silver lining, Kevin Smith, one of my favorite people in the world, Kevin Smith has announced that he is going to donate all future dividends from Weinstein made movies that he was involved with to women in film.
Yeah. Now there's a mensch.
That's right. There's a man who's not going to have to do another mitzvah for the rest of his life.
Well, no, he'll get equal mitzvahs, but that's an awesome mitzvah.
Yeah.
Yep, it's like it's great. And you know what? It's like maybe others should follow suit.
Yeah. I mean, do you really want Weinstein's tainted money, knowing what he did?
Yeah, it's very bad.
Yeah.
Well, now when it's like what's the money is going to go for? It's like women in film. Is this going to be like a fund
Yeah,
for therapy
for
or
female filmmakers in the industry.
oh, so they can make movies?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I think part of it. I mean, that's a really nice gesture, but I think part of it should go to um, go to like some sort of to help some of these women with counseling. Get them get them that because you know it's affected their lives,
Yeah.
and it's great that they want to give it to women in film to make movies, but I think it would be better if it was maybe split between the women in film and some sort of therapy, and not the go into the local mall and get it's like talk to somebody in there, but a good therapist
Mhm.
to help these women that have been affected by him to
Yes.
get past their the problems that it's caused. So I think that would be a better, I said, a good thing to do is split the money. I said, it's nice that he wants to do that, but that doesn't help the women that he hurt.
No. It does help though, because it's like feature filmmakers can therefore get their start. I'm not sure how women in film will do that, and I'd love to hear from women in film if any of them have any ideas of how they would want to spend that money.
Well, that's what I said. I mean, it's nice, and it would give like some women filmmakers a chance to make their movies. But
Yep.
it's like I said, go back to some of them might need counseling more than they would need to make the movie. In other words, get do the counseling and then make your movie.
Yep. And what they are saying with regards to it, it's like going to the animal saying that he's paid the price. It's like basically what they're talking about is the fact that it's like, okay, at least this can do some healing. So that'll be very nice.
Yeah, it's a good thing. Just see where it all goes.
Hmm. I'm excited to see.
What do you think, Arpo?
I think it's going to be a very, very interesting next few weeks because I think, or at least I hope, this is just the beginning. I hope that people are going to realize, hey, if a handful of people can take down Harvey Weinstein, why can't a handful of people take down some of these other pricks who
Yeah.
have been abusing adults and children?
Yeah.
Corey Feldman, if ever there was a time to step forward, this is it.
Yeah, he wrote the book choreography about 3 years ago, and they made him silence himself about the names. Maybe it's time to talk about it now.
Yeah, you can hear us.
So
If you're listening,
yeah, I would
or
love to have
somebody
you on the
out there,
show.
if somebody out there knows Corey Feldman.
Bring him on the show. We'd love to talk with him. We'll let him name the names here.
Yes, we're
With
not
no
Barbara
restrictions.
Walters. We're not Barbara Walters,
No.
who actually cut him off as he was getting ready to name names.
Yeah, it's like, no, it's not a blight on the industry. It's actually a favor to the industry to get these scum out of there.
Yes.
It's time to clean the industry and make it the industry that it was supposed to be.
It's time to take the Suckomatic 3000 and get rid of those suckers.
Yep. And basically what they're saying here, it's like, they talked about the fact that he says that he's ashamed he worked with Harvey Weinstein, Kevin Smith as well. It led to the filmmaker viewing that the future income garnered from his Weinstein-made titles, to women in film, and with the possibility that Weinstein Co. could go under and yield to additional residuals, Smith says he will give $2,000 per month to the organization for the rest of his life. He feels that it's like a start, while also offering his mentorship if they want him. Hopefully, this goes to people that get to make movies, basically to get to make stuff without having to deal with any animals. And here's the price. Listen to the full podcast below, and there is a podcast about this. And I will say I encourage that for those who want to listen to it. And thank you very much, Kevin Smith, because what you're doing is honorable. The Me Too's. And also thank you to all the people who are doing the Me Too. Because you guys are brave faces.
Yes.
Maybe if there's enough Me Too's, there will never be another me.
Oh, and a big thumbs down to Donna Karen,
Yes.
who actually had the nerve to say, well, maybe it's the way women dress these days. Yeah, Donna, they're wearing your clothes.
Yeah. And you know what? It's not the way a woman dresses. It's not the way the woman talks. Don't blame a person. It's victimizing the victim.
Exactly.
They're a victim of a crime. Don't say that you condone that because that's a very antiquated attitude. Well, maybe if they would have dressed differently, maybe if they would have just said something differently. Because believe me, victims blame themselves far more than anything that you could possibly say.
Yeah.
And victimizing them too only shows that it's like you are at that level of a Weinstein.
How many times do you hear, when a victim is on the stand and they ask her, well, why didn't you just say no? Well, she did. That's why it was rape.
Yeah. So, just understand that, no, you don't victim blame. And yes, I know that some of these allegations proved and not proved, but understand one other thing. Why come forward if it isn't true? People will find out because they're all true.
Yeah.
Right, and the more that come forward, the better the chance of putting a stop to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And hopefully, you know what, there will be more people like Kevin Smith out there who are just disgusted and will go ahead and do that.
Once again, another reason why he's one of my favorite people.
Yeah.
So
That and his love of comic books.
And you were saying, Olaf?
I say two thumbs up to Kevin Smith for doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I know Harvey Weinstein right now is trying to defend himself by saying, well, not all of the allegations are true. Well, I don't care if one allegation is true.
Yeah, that's one too many.
Then you're a piece of shit. And I've
Mhm.
said it.
Good.
Sue me. I got nothing you can take.
Yeah. So there you go, folks. And which brings us, though, also to quite a few interesting little articles. One of them that really caught our eye in Variety are Harvey Weinstein and Donald Trump the same person?
Nothing would surprise me.
Um, Let me put it to you this way. How come we forgive it in a president what we don't forgive in a Hollywood mogul?
There's no reason.
Exactly. Nobody should be above the law, including that. So, in other words, what they're trying to highlight in this article is not the fact are they the same person. They're talking about the acts.
Yeah.
That the same act? And yeah, it is. Whether you're saying it's okay to grab someone's pussy, or you're saying that it's like I'm going to jerk off in front of somebody, that's the
Mhm.
exact same person.
I know. And Donald Trump was quoted as saying, that he loves Hollywood. He said, he can grab a woman's pussy. They don't care.
Yeah.
Yes, they do, Donald.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. For personal reasons, I refuse to call him Mr. President.
Yeah. And basically, what they're saying here is that the relative downpour of the story makes a hideous saga in sociopathic predators. And yeah, they are both sociopathic predators. And whether you mea culpa it now or it does not make it any, it does not diminish this any less. It is a disrespect. And as I said, the same way you out him, you should out another. If nothing else, that should also be grounds for impeachment, personally.
Oh, absolutely. Well, any felony is grounds for impeachment.
Yeah.
His defense right now is, I'm president of the United States. I shouldn't be tried for a crime.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the
Tell
Twinkie
that to
defense.
Nixon. Tell that to Nixon.
Yeah, that's called the Twinkie defense. I don't know, I just ate it. I didn't inhale.
Yeah.
So, again, these are interesting articles in Variety. Go ahead and read them for yourself. And they just make for very interesting stuff. Moving on, though, we have another very fascinating set of articles tonight. This one, Olaf, would you like to introduce article number 2?
Sure. Let's see if I can.
All about Hollywood confronting the copyright argument with potential
Oh,
mass
yes, yes,
disruption.
yes. That's like, yeah. We gotta get the right order of things. Where Hollywood is confronts the copyright argument with potential for mass disruption. Who really owns the CG character in blockbuster films like Avengers and Night at the Museum? Like what is it here on Monday? Judge was told it's not the studios.
Well, there you go. This MOBA case just keeps going with us, doesn't it, Arpo?
Yes, it does indeed. We may, you regular listeners may remember we talked about this 2.5 weeks ago,
Yeah.
maybe.
All about
And
stolen soft. It's like it's the greatest thing. It makes for a great movie thing. Only it's true.
yeah,
Stolen software, company copyrights. All the stuff that Hollywood's made of.
yes, all the good stuff.
CG characters? Who owns the software? Does the Chinese own the software? Does MOVA own the software? Does the original creator own the software? Was he under copyright from the company, or was he under contract? Did he develop it independently, or like Disney, where every single thought when you work for Disney belongs to Disney?
That's right. I mean, you could be at Disney, you could be sitting in your cubicle and thinking, maybe I'll have chicken tonight. Someone come up to you and say, that's our idea now.
Yep, you pay us for the chicken.
Yes.
Idea. Any way that you cooked it now, it all belongs to Disney. And it's true. So, Olaf, what do you think of this article?
It's like you know, well, it's one of those things that it really brings out a lot of questions, and it's like and which is the right? I mean, is it copyright? Who really owns it? Who does it really belong to? And you do all this stuff, and you who actually should get the money from it?
Yeah.
So I mean, it does. I guess until it was up until somebody actually said, "Hey, that's mine. I drew that. Then you're using it without giving me any residuals for using my creation." Until it gets into, like I said, starts coming out into the courts more and more and more.
Yeah.
More people coming forward, going, "Hey, I did that, and it belongs to this company because they made the software." It's like, yeah, it's kind of like, what came first, the chicken or the egg?
Yeah, and basically what they're saying, the stage of the dispute, the studios can't dispute the truth of the allegations. Not only did they use the stolen technology, they did so knowingly, but Disney, Fox, and Paramount ask, so what? Well, what's the so what? Um, if it was stolen, it doesn't belong to you. They're saying it's human input. It wasn't the software. What did the human use to create it?
Well, now, I guess part of the, and there's playing devil's advocate, is like, okay, technically, whatever was created belongs to whoever created the software, because without the software that was
Yeah,
created to do that, you couldn't do it.
but it's debated also who created the software.
Right.
And the original person who created the software, who did all the programming and the mods for the software and everything, um, they're claiming that they had the rights to keep it because it was done independently of the company. The company said no, it belonged to the company and they had the right to sell it. The other company saying that, so it's like this is getting more and more convoluted as we're going along.
Now, here's the thing, too. Now, the lawyers defending the movie studios are saying, well, if what Reardon is saying is true, if the author of
Characters.
the author of the no, if the author of the software
Yes.
owns the characters, then anyone who's ever used Adobe Photoshop or written a book or a manuscript using Microsoft Word, Microsoft and Adobe should own the rights to those.
There
Now,
is an argument for that.
yeah, but it's like that's what I was gonna say. Wouldn't the argument be, and the same thing, actually the same thing with this MOVA. It's like MOVA software. In other words, if you're using it, if you pirate it and use it for without paying the licensing fee, then yeah, whatever you do should belong to
MOVA.
MOVA. But if you pay a licensing fee to use that software, then I would think anything you created with that software, no matter what it is, and whether it be Adobe or anybody else, if you pay for a license to use that software, then anything you create should belong to you and not MOVA or Adobe or any of them.
Okay,
Absolutely.
technically, there is also another argument though on that. If not for that software, then what you had done would not exist.
Right,
So what
but
you
if
would need
you
to do is
but
credit the software. But that's the whole thing. Is right now they can't even credit the software because they don't know who owns it.
right,
This is still
but
up in the air. This poor thing.
right, but
And,
numbers.
and, the, and
Don't
oh,
you?
go ahead.
I was gonna say, don't you think though that, irregardless of who made the software, once they figure that out,
Yeah.
but when you pay that, you pay that 300,
Yep.
500, $1,000 for that software, doesn't that take them out of the loop of ownership of anything that you create because you bought the software
As long
to
as you
do?
credited them, yes.
Absolutely correct.
But why? Okay,
Here's the thing.
go ahead.
What Reardon is saying is he should be paid for the software,
Because it was
not the
his.
Chinese company, not the company he used to work for, because he developed that software
And never
on
sold it.
his own time, not as part of the company work, his company work.
Yet
So
the
the
company
company
says
cannot,
that yes, but yet the company is saying he used their equipment in order to be able to develop the software, even though it was after hours. So it's using the Disney argument of you had the thought at the time that you were doing this using our equipment, therefore it belongs to Disney.
yeah, well, that's crap.
Well, yeah, and this is why this is going to remain as a convoluted article for many, many months to come. And I really want to hear, as I said, the lawyer opinions on this one. Because
Yeah,
you and I, Olaf, have been in Second Life. We create
Right,
things, and we always credit Linden Labs for it.
right,
But that's because Linden Labs has an open thing of saying, yeah, you're using our software as long as you credit us. We're jiggy with this.
right.
That's why you can sell mods and everything using their software. Same thing with them using the other ones, like for example, shoot, iClone. Same
yeah,
thing,
yeah.
Or Movie Storm,
or
or
MovieStorm, or whatever the software it is, because you've bought essentially the copyrights to be able to use that, but as long as you have credited the original source.
Yes.
So,
Unfortunately, Lion
right.
said didn't feel that way with the movies. They said, no, it's ours. It's all ours. You can't make any money off it.
Well, what they're saying is we legally paid for the software, whether it was stolen or not stolen, we legally paid for it. So
right,
therefore, what we did with it belongs to us, and we did credit the software. But the problem is that nobody has ever. It's like it's a fine line of did they actually own the software by which that they did that?
Yeah.
So, in other words, in order to get anything halfway started to be straightened out, you have to iron out and pin down and actually find who owns the software
Yep.
and or who developed it and whose software it actually is,
Yeah.
so that when you do credit somebody, if you credit, it's like, in other words, if you credit uh, Mova and you don't credit, what's the guy that is, like Ricky, somebody is like, or the guy
Yes.
that
Reardon.
Reardon.
Reardon. It's like
Reardon
Reardon.
LLC. Yeah.
Yeah. If you don't if you don't credit Reardon, but you credit Mova, uh, it's like, then
But who owns
is that
Mova?
is that is then does that become the copyright infringement because you didn't credit Reardon?
Well, the whole copyright infringement part of it is he's like, well, I never gave you permission to use the software to begin with because it's my software. Where
Right.
the Chinese company is like, no, your partner there sold the software because he said is that you developed it under their label, so they had the right to sell us the software. So now the software belongs to us.
So what Reardon has to prove is that the company that he was working at did not have the right to sell the software in the first place.
The only problem is that the partner was that owned the company was his business partner in this deal.
Yes.
So, which convolutes it even more. Welcome to the legal world of software, folks.
It is a tangled web.
Right.
It is a
Which I
tangle.
don't think by next week there's going to be an answer. I don't think by next week there's going to be an answer.
No.
There won't be an answer by next year, probably.
Look, all of these years later, and we're still looking at the blur line case.
Right.
Hmm.
You know what? That's 2, 3 years old now. Older since the dawn of time. So I can't foresee any answer anytime soon with this whole case of who owns what and why did they do what they did and who shot John and was it work for hire? Was it individual work, independent work? You know, it's like everybody has a argument that they can use. The movie studios plead the mea culpa. We didn't know that that was going to be the case. Really, it was called again a case of lazy lawyering, which we've talked about maybe many times before.
Right.
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. And somehow I just feel like every time this case comes up in court, they should preface it by playing the merry-go-round music from "It's a Mad, 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 Mad World."
Yes.
Da 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 da.
Right.
Yeah. Or the
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like I said, the whole thing is like until they can figure, until they narrow down who actually owned it, who actually developed it and owned it, and you know, then if it got wrongfully distributed, then if Reardon's partner is the one that sold it, then it comes back to him because maybe he didn't have the right to sell it.
But then yet at the same time, Reardon's partner was the one who owned the company that who owned the software and owned the hardware by which when he developed it. And again,
Mm,
it becomes the Disney argument. Just because you're doing it on your own, you're using it on company software.
Yeah. It's ours.
So it's like, is it his? Is it theirs? Is it ours?
It's like Leo Burnett Company. About, of course, now they're careful enough. See, what they have to do is they have to go back and look at the original contractual agreement between the two partners.
Yes.
Leo Burnett, they're one of the biggest advertising agencies in the country. They're probably most famous for creating the Kellogg's characters.
Yes.
Leo Burnett has in the contract that you sign when you go to work for them a clause that states anything you create for one of our clients is the property of Leo Burnett, and you have no further claim to rights.
Yes. But if you developed it on your own using Leo Burnett software, that is where the issue is now coming into play.
But
And not for a client,
yeah,
for your own personal uses.
yeah. So that's what they have to, but that's what they have to do. They have to go back. They have to look at the wording of the original agreement for the partnership.
right.
Yeah. And again, looking at it, was it actually developed independently or was it developed as a work for hire?
Right.
As they looked at that case, there's a similar case that talked about it in terms of one of the original things with Spider-Man and Stanley and Kirby's estate a while back, because it's like it basically Marvel owns all of that, even though Kirby's estate and everything argued it for a while there that it's like, well, Jack Kirby's estate should get the lion's share of this. He was considered a work for hire by Marvel, if I remember correctly, this case. And
Yes,
therefore,
yes, yes, it was.
because it was under a work for hire situation, Spider-Man becomes the property of that company.
Yeah. Well, it was a work for hire because originally Spider-Man was created by Stan Lee and Steve Ditko.
Yes.
Of course, today Stan Lee is Marvel Comics.
Yes.
But Jack Kirby was brought in to draw Spider-Man for a long period of time. It's true. And while he may have the right to his original artwork, every artist does at Marvel, he does not have the right to residuals for sales of the comics
Or the
because he
character of
does it,
Spider-Man.
or the character of Spider-Man, because he didn't create it. He
Yes.
just drew it.
There's about 6 or 7 people who drew Bugs Bunny over the years.
Yeah.
And each one of them owned their artwork but didn't own Bugs Bunny. It's his property of Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
You know, it's like whether somebody else is drawing them now, it's like it would still be the exact same thing.
Yeah.
It is a character that is owned by the company that you worked for. You are a work for hire. Now,
Yeah.
if it's a work for hire agreement with the CGI software, that remains to be seen.
Yeah.
That's when you get into very, very complicated back and forthing. So, you know, the where it lands, nobody knows.
But round and round and round it goes.
Yep. Oh, this one was already open. I don't know. Oh. You know, it's like so this whole round and round merry-go-round. And hopefully, somebody someday will figure this out.
Hopefully, in my lifetime.
Yes. And again, I encourage any lawyer, please come on the show. Which, by the way, is hosted by Production Next, as we mentioned, once again. And therefore, you know, come and tell us what's going on. What's their opinion on it? Are we going to ever see a resolution to it? Please, Gordon Fire Mark Jonas. We love you most of all.
And
or any of the wonderful lawyers that we have had on our show. Any of you want to come? We love you all.
yes, we're probably the only people who do love lawyers. Think about that.
Exactly. So that is our plea out there for you. And I am now hiding my water name. And it's Nestle Pure Life. For all of you guys.
You got Pure Life? I got Ice Mountain.
I got Pure Life.
Whoa. Because Ice Mountain's actually the one that's being sued. So.
Yeah.
But that has nothing to do with entertainment. So we
yeah. But Nestle's, please send us more water. We love you.
We love you, even if Flint, Michigan doesn't.
Yes. And you can afford it. Which brings us to our next article. Speaking of affording things. Arpo, it's to you.
This is something we talked about, oh my God, what, back in February?
Yes.
During our one of our scam shows?
Yep.
The pay-to-play audition scandal.
Yep, the contract that never dies.
LA City Attorney Mike Fuhrer now tallies 7 no contest plea agreements with indicted members of the casting community as multiple courthouse proceedings continue to unfold.
Yeah.
Los Angeles Attorney Mike Fuhrer secured no contest pleas on October 17th from 3 more figures who were indicted earlier this year in a pay-to-play audition scandal that's engulfed the entertainment industry. The agreements now number 7 since the crackdown began in, wow, February.
Oh no.
What coincidence.
Just before this whole SAG after thing, huh?
Well, right when we were reporting on it, all of a sudden, I don't know, does Mike Fuhrer listen to our show?
Well, if you do, Mike, we love you. And we want you on.
Other cases are still ongoing. Now, for those of you who don't remember, or perhaps are newer listeners, because we know we have
Yep.
picked up a few thousand new listeners in the past few months. Pay to play auditions, basically, what was happening is casting companies were having people pay to take audition classes from them.
Yep.
Actually, they were using the audition classes to audition people for parts in movies that they had been contracted to cast.
Or so they alleged.
Or so they alleged, yes. Or so it was alleged against them, or however that should be.
Yes, in other words, you pay us and you'll be part of our agency and you'll be part of this potential movie. Only what we want you to do is we want you to go ahead and buy your ticket to come here, take our classes and our courses, and of course then we'll absolutely hire you.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And we will hire you, and we only pay you if we actually put you in a movie or a commercial or something.
But we allegedly work for all of these studios.
Right.
Yeah. So that's right. So, it's a sure thing you're going to get cast if you take our audition class.
Yes.
And if you really want to make sure that you get cast, you opt for our platinum package that costs twice as much as the regular audition classes, but
yep.
Then we'll make sure that you get into something sooner than the other ones.
And we'll even let you have your pictures taken with our photographer.
Right.
That's right. Yes, he's very expensive, but the pictures will look much better than just going to a regular professional photographer who would charge you 1/3 of the price.
Yes. So again, folks, doesn't this sound like deja vu?
Yes, we said it in February. We'll say it again. If they tell you you have to pay them to audition,
it's a scam.
Don't do it. It's a scam. If a talent agency says you pay us this amount of money and we'll put you in our book that directors look through when they're coming in to cast movies, it's a scam.
It's
and
why
yes,
they,
Cast 360, yeah. I'm looking at you.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, a talent agent gets paid on the back end. He gets paid after he gets you work, not before.
And just as also a heads up to remember that most studios do their own casting process. They don't require other casting companies. They also have things like Spotlight, they have Backstage, they have other ways of being able to find actors and talent. They have relationships with agencies. They don't need to use open, and if they use open casting calls, they're usually there with their own people.
That's right.
And if anybody says that they work for a studio or anything, it's a very simple call. Phone the studio. Guarantee you that a lot of those people they've never heard of.
Mm-hmm.
Don't put up mortgages to your house. It's like, no matter even if they say, you know what, you're the most talented thing since sliced bread, remember the Who's the Boss episode with Samantha taking ballet lessons, who had oodles of talent. Along with the other girl that there had oodles of talent and was like a dancing disaster. And when the Russian guy was asked by Tony Maselli, well, if Sam has talent and she could be a prima ballerina in that one, it's like, what's the price of an oodle? Well, apparently how much the parent is willing to pay.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
The oodle comes up in price as much as you're willing to pay.
That's right.
Want to take classes? There are some great instructors that you can take classes with. that will do great jobs for you. Actually, contact us. We have a couple of names of really good acting teachers who will and are actually legit professionals.
Yes. And not only that, they're not going to charge you your life's savings
No.
And they will
because
actually teach you something.
yes,
Yes.
because they have taught hundreds, hundreds of successful actors how to act.
And the people that are in their schools, a lot of times are funneled into these agencies who happen to come in front of, real studio people.
That's right.
Again, buyer beware. Somebody tells you you're talented as an actor, as a model, find out about this agency. If they tell you you need courses to do it, run.
Yes. If they tell you they need you to use their photographer to take pictures, run.
Yeah, Olaf, any other warnings for them?
Just to reiterate, if they ask for money up front, run.
There you go. From February to now, and back again, which
We have come full circle.
indeed we have. Now, on a little bit of a positive, happy note, there is one small little article that I wanted to introduce tonight as a congratulations to them. William Morris Endeavor and IMG Finance and Sales Group combined to form Endeavor Content. Woohoo! They win our clapping award.
Yay! Woohoo!
It's very nice that William Morris Endeavor has now stepped into the financing field of film.
It is.
Thank you, William Morris Endeavor and IMG Financial. We look forward to a long, successful partnership. So there you go. And just as a small little boo, Weinstein says it has the lifetime investment backing from Tom Barrack's Colony Capital. Let's hope that Colony Capital learns its lesson, because obviously any of these companies that are supporting Weinstein's company right now, maybe you want to put your investments elsewhere. Learn from Kevin Smith.
The rumor on the mill, there's, it's not a certain fact yet, but the rumor on the mill is the board, originally the board was thinking of continuing, in the business and just changing the name of the company after firing Harvey Weinstein. Since then, two more board members have resigned.
Fruit of the poison
Why,
tree.
guys? Possibly you were accomplices?
Fruit of the
And
poison tree.
mm-hmm. And now the rumor mill is saying that the rest of the board of directors is looking to sell the Weinstein Company and its holdings.
You should probably be able to pick it up fairly cheap now.
Yep. So there you go. That is our wonderful week. And we wanted to announce that, yes, we had a little bit of delay with Michael Gianfrido. We will be having him on as a guest. Sorry, he had a little bit of a business technical delay from our Chicago office here. But he will be on over the week, and we will definitely be having him on our show very, very soon. Until then, Olaf, how do people get you on social media?
Well, you can stalk me on both Facebook and Twitter at Olaf Barbosa, but just don't stalk too close because I do get nervous and I do have an itchy trigger finger.
And Arbo, how do they get you in social media?
I would like to begin by saying, Olaf, I have never stalked you on Facebook or Twitter. So please stop pointing the gun at me when you do that.
I got it pointed somewhere.
As for me, of course, if you want to be social, you can reach me on what else? Facebook. If you want to do some business, reach me on LinkedIn. And if you just want to chat, hey, I'm always up for a Skype conversation. But just bear in mind, I have less time than usual these days. And of course, you must remember if you're trying to add yourself to my contact list, you must remember to tell me that you are a movie time fan because I get far too many offers from women in Armenia who want to marry me and robots who want to steal my charge card numbers.
Yep. And for me, you can get me on LinkedIn, Visipedia, also on social media, Facebook, as well as at Sonata Grayson on Twitter, as well as also Movie Time Indie. Please look for us on www.pastlivesproductionsinc.net. Follow our Indiegogo campaign and feel free to contribute to that if you'd love to. And also now, congratulations, Production Next. You can also follow us there as well. And sign up and come and see some of the shows. And also as well, become a member. They're really well worth it. And with that, we'll see you all on Friday.
Thanks for
Show off.
listening.
Night.